Hello, in this video we'll be introducing the Day Trading GPS Ribbon Indicator V3.0 Multi-Session Reset Edition for indexes, stocks, ETFs, futures, Forex, as well as any global market. The Day Trading GPS V3.0 indicator is a professional-grade moving average ribbon built specifically for active day traders as well as swing and multi-session traders, with a critical upgrade that sets it apart from every other ribbon indicator on TradingView. Native instrument-specific session reset support across every major asset class. Most ribbon indicators are built with a one-size-fits-all approach. They work reasonably well on a chart that trades continuously, but they break down, often silently, the moment price action carries across a session boundary, an overnight gap, or a regional handoff. When a standard moving average crosses one of those boundaries, it can drag the prior session's closing value into the new session's first bars, potentially polluting your intraday read from the very first candle, a problem that becomes severe on substantial or extreme gap up or gap down sessions. As an example, we have the SPX index up on the chart now. This is a chart from Friday, June 26, 2026. As you can see, we had a very large gap down to start the session. This is with the reset filter on for the 9:30 a.m. open. And as you can see here, although we did have a move down at the beginning, we had a substantial reversal which came right off the bat after just a few bars. If you didn't have this reset on, then this is what it would look like. As you can see here, most traders would have been trapped down here using a standard ribbon, which is giving them a bearish read right from the get-go, and it's not really giving them any sort of bullish indication until right here, after most of this move is over with. Going back to the session reset, as you can see here, traders using the reset can see the reversal a lot earlier and could decide to get in on this bullish move for a nice move that was approximately 50 points. And then a resumptive move up for another 22 points here. With the filter off, you can see that you're not really getting any sort of bullish read until here, where most of this move is already over with. Additionally, if you'd been trapped down here with the earlier bearish read, then you would have taken a potentially a substantial loss on getting in on a bearish position. This particular indicator, though, has session resets for all asset types. So, for example, it has a session reset specifically for futures for different sessions. As an example, we're looking right now at the 6 p.m. Globex open reset filter, and we're looking at one side with the 6 p.m. Globex reset filter on, and one side with a standard ribbon with the reset filter off. As you can see here, the same problem exists on other asset classes, such as futures, on the Globex Open, which occurs daily at 6 p.m. Eastern. Especially if you have a reversal, such as the case here in the Sunday, April 12, 2026 session. If you look on the right side, here we have the standard ribbon with the filter off. So this is the look that most ribbons would give you. As you can see, we had a substantial gap down, and you have the bearish read on the ribbon here, and you're not really getting a bullish read until this area here. However, with the 6 p.m. reset filter on, you are still getting the initial bearish read here if you wanted to jump in on a bearish trade here, but you're getting the bullish reversal signal a lot earlier here. You're getting it here and being able to ride this whole wave up versus no bullish entry here, no reversal, and you're really having to wait till about right here. Now, a distinct advantage with this particular ribbon indicator is not only the ability to choose whether to view a session with the specific session reset filter on or have it off and just use it as a standard ribbon, but you can also use it on a dual screen mode, whether you have a multiple monitor setup and you'd like to have one chart with the filter on for the specific session reset and one chart with a standard ribbon with the filter off. Or if you have just one monitor, or say you're working off a laptop, then you can simply have a split screen view, one with the filter on and one with the filter off. Now here's another example of NASDAQ futures on the Thursday, June 18, 2026 session on the 6 p.m. Globex Open. As you can see here, we had a significant move up to end the prior session, but however, at the Globex Open, we started getting a move down. This side is with the filter off, so this would be your standard ribbon here. And again, you can use this ribbon with the filter off or the filter on. So you can look at it both ways or look at it the way that you prefer, with the filter on or the filter off for the specific session reset filter that you prefer for the type of symbol that you're trading. In this case, we're using the 6 p.m. Globex Open reset. As you can see here on the right side, we have the 6 p.m. filter reset on. So in this case, you're able to get into this reversal a lot earlier. Here's the 6 p.m. open. As you can see here, with the filter on, it's giving you an instant read that things are falling apart here and the market is moving down. However, here, you're still getting the same thing eventually. However, it's going to be a lot later. So instead of viewing this as, oh, this is going to be a potential bullish open and continuation, and then maybe this is just a dip here to get back in, you can see clearly with the session reset filter on that that is not the case, and it was simply a reversal move in which this was simply a move back up for a continuation of the reversal down. Now for US stocks and ETFs, there are two session resets. One is for the 4 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time open of the pre-market session, and the other one is for the 9:30 a.m. RTH session open. Here we're looking at an example of using the session reset on the 4 a.m. pre-market open. Here we have the 4 a.m. pre-market open with a standard ribbon with the filter off. Again, you can use this ribbon with the filter off or choose which specific reset that you would like to use for the particular symbol type that you're using. So this would be your regular ribbon here. As you can see here, we had a significant gap up and we're getting a green read on the ribbon, and we're not really getting any bearish read until here. However, with the 4 a.m. pre-market open reset filter on, you're seeing the weakness right away. Even though we have a significant gap up, you're seeing weakness here throughout the pre-market session, and then a follow-through continuation here once the regular session started. Here's an example for SPY using the 9:30 a.m. RTH filter reset. This is from the Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026 trading session for SPY. As you can see here, we have a significant gap down to start the pre-market, and that carries through to the RTH session open here at the 9:30 open. This is with the 9:30 a.m. RTH filter reset on. As you can see here, we get a reversal right off the bat, even though we have this significant gap down. This reset lets you clearly see the reversal right off the bat. Now, looking over here on the right side, this is with the filter off. So this is going to be your standard ribbon. Again, you can utilize this ribbon with the filter on or the filter off, and you can also use it as a dual screen mode, such as we're seeing right now. So using it as a standard ribbon, as you can see, we have this hangover effect. Here's the 9:30 open. As you can see here, eventually it does turn green here. However, this is a very late entry here, and then we get a reversal back down here. Whereas over here, with the reset filter on, you can see the reversal clearly at the open, and you can decide to take a bullish entry based on seeing this. Or over here, you may be inclined to still stay in a bearish entry, thinking that this is simply a retrace back up to one of these yellow thick moving averages here, and that we would get a continuation move. However, here, you're not really seeing the bullish turn until here. Here's an example for SPY using the 9:30 a.m. RTH filter reset. This is from the Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026 trading session for SPY. As you can see here, we have a significant gap down to start the pre-market, and that carries through to the RTH session open here at the 9:30 open. This is with the 9:30 a.m. RTH filter reset on. As you can see here, we get a reversal right off the bat, even though we have this significant gap down. This reset lets you clearly see the reversal right off the bat. Now, looking over here on the right side, this is with the filter off. So this is going to be your standard ribbon. Again, you can utilize this ribbon with the filter on or the filter off, and you can also use it as a dual screen mode, such as we're seeing right now. So using it as a standard ribbon, as you can see, we have this hangover effect. Here's the 9:30 open. As you can see here, eventually it does turn green here. However, this is a very late entry here, and then we get a reversal back down here. Whereas over here, with the reset filter on, you can see the reversal clearly at the open, and you can decide to take a bullish entry based on seeing this. Or over here, you may be inclined to still stay in a bearish entry, thinking that this is simply a retrace back up to one of these yellow thick moving averages here, and that we would get a continuation move. However, here, you're not really seeing the bullish turn until here. Now here's another example for US stocks. You're looking at a chart for Micron, MU, which has been in the news a lot lately. A stock with a lot of volatility that is having some wild swings every single session. So here we have a 9:30 a.m. reset filter on and reset filter off. So again, this is an example of a dual screen. And here, looking for dual confirmation from both ribbons. So as you're aware, stocks do trade in the pre-market. So with a standard ribbon that has no filter, you still be able to see a continuous ribbon from the start of the 4 a.m. to the start of the 9:30. And in a lot of cases, a standard ribbon without the reset filter can work just fine on a lot of stocks or instruments that trade continuously, or at least have several hours before an actual session starts. The advantage of this ribbon is that, again, it gives you the flexibility to have the reset filters that you can use whenever you feel that you would like to see a different perspective, such as the case here. So even though we have a lot of the same look with the reset filter on the 9:30 a.m. open and the reset filter off, however, in this case, as you can see here, this was the part leading up to the open here. A very bullish look, and then we get a very sharp reversal. So this is what the filter off, so this would be your standard ribbon. And eventually here on this particular candle here, you're getting the bearish read. However, this line here on this candle is the open. So again, right off at the bat, you may be thinking that this is just going to be a dip and with a bullish resumption. Here with the filter reset on for the 9:30 a.m. session open, we still have this candle here. However, as you can see right off the bat, we're seeing a sharp reversal with a bearish read right off the bat, starting with this candle here. So if you're using dual confirmation, then again, you're getting dual confirmation on this third candle here from both. So the point is that with this ribbon, with the filter resets for every different type of symbol, you have the flexibility to use for whatever specific session that you're trading the ribbon with the filter on and filter off. So you can choose which way you would prefer to see the market, or you can see them both ways with the filter on as well as the filter off. Now what about Forex traders? Forex, of course, has different session opens, one of which is the Sunday 5 p.m. Eastern open. And that is the hangover from the Friday close. So this would be similar to the 6 p.m. Globex open for futures that happens daily. Forex doesn't really have a daily pause like futures does, with the pause from futures that ends at 5 p.m. and then reopens at 6 for the Globex Open. However, it does have the pause from Friday to Sunday. Now, it does have the session, it starts every day at 5 p.m. However, the significant gap up and gap downs can really occur on Sundays with Forex as an example. So here's an example on Euro USD from Sunday, June 7th. This is the 5 p.m. Sunday open, 5 p.m. Eastern New York time. And here we have the standard with the ribbon with the filter off. So again, you can utilize the day trading GPS V3.0 ribbon with the filter off, or set the specific session filter for the symbol type that you're trading. And we'll take a look at all the different resets that are within the user control panel here in a second for each different type of asset. And then it also has 4 custom user-defined presets that you can use to trade any global market if you're the type of trader that also trades European markets, European stocks, or stocks in other global markets, or indices in other global markets. The custom user-defined resets can allow you to utilize this for any type of asset in any market anywhere in the world. Okay, so let's get back to the Forex here. So we have the 5 p.m. Sunday open here. As you can see, leading down from the earlier session on Friday. We had a significant move down. And so this would be your ribbon read on a standard with the filter off. So we have kind of a continuation here. You're not really seeing any bullishness until you get to right here. However, with the 5 p.m. reset filter on, you're seeing bullishness right off the bat. So this is the opening candle here. However, the ribbon is showing green to begin with and green here. So if you were so inclined to do, then you could take this bullish trade here and write it up for here. Still getting into the same bearish entry here, and again bullish here with either one of these. However, right off the bat, you have this opportunity here, whereas here, if you're already in a bearish position or you felt like starting a bearish position because of what you're seeing with a standard ribbon, then you would be setting yourself up for a loss here. Whereas here, you're getting a clean read. And again, the advantage is that you can use this ribbon with the reset filter on and off, or off, whichever you prefer as a single use, or you can look at it in both ways on a dual screen or a multiple monitor setup. Okay, so let's take a quick look through the user control panel. As you can see here, you have at the top here, you have the setting for the ribbon itself, set to default for exponential MA, so EMA. If you uncheck this, then you'll be using an SMA ribbon. The preferred setting is just to leave it on the default setting of EMA. However, if you prefer SMA for some reason, then you can uncheck it. As you can see here in session settings, we have different groups. So first we have US indexes. So here we have filter for US indexes. So this is going to be reset at 9:30. For US stocks and ETFs listed on NYSE, NASDAQ, OTC, and Amex, we have two filters. One for the pre-market resets at 4 a.m. and also one for the 9:30 a.m. open. U.S. equity index futures such as ES, NQ, RTY, YM, etc. We have several different filters here. One for the Globex Asia overnight session resetting at 6 p.m. Also have one for the London RTH session open 3 a.m. and also one for the New York RTH session open reset 9:30. What about other futures such as metals, energy, treasuries, etc.? So we have enable for Globex overnight session again, 6 p.m. We have one specifically for metals, gold, silver resets at 8:20 a.m. for that RTH open. Also for crude oil, open reset at the crude oil RTH open 9 a.m. Eastern. What about bonds, treasuries, etc.? 8:20 a.m. RTH session reset for that. Currency futures, so if you're a currency futures trader rather than trading on Forex, then that is at 8:20 a.m. Eastern for that New York session. Forex, we have the Sydney Open, 5 p.m. as we saw earlier. Most prevalent, even though you can use this reset every day, it's going to be most prevalent on Sundays. You also have one specifically for the Forex Tokyo Asian session, 7 p.m. Eastern, London, 3 a.m. Eastern, and also New York session, 8 a.m. Eastern for Forex. Also, we have custom user-defined session filters. So you have up to 4. Each one is named Custom Reset 1, Custom Reset 2, Custom Reset 3, Custom Reset 4. You can, however, choose to edit this name and call it whatever you want. Here you have the time zones, market regions. So for example, if you're trading indices in other markets, such as the Nikkei, the FTSE, the DAX, the CAC, Euro Stoxx 50, the Hang Seng, the Shanghai, the Nifty 50, which is the index in India, or really any index all over the world, then you can utilize this custom session to do a specific session that you set the exact time for the reset for any market anywhere in the world. So this covers basically all market types in all global markets. So if you're the type of trader that you're in Europe and you're trading European stocks on European markets, or you're trading India stocks in Indian markets, those have specific session starts that are going to be obviously a lot different than US. So this way you have complete flexibility to specifically set up markets for whatever specific reset that you want anywhere in the world for any type of asset class. Also, for people trading US markets, this gives you the flexibility to set up a specific reset other than the presets. If you have a specific reset that you follow futures and you're going for a specific time within a session that you would like to see a specific reset for instead of the presets, then you can obviously use this for that instead of using it for global markets. You can use it for US markets to set specific resets that you choose exactly where the reset is going to be. And like I said, we have up to 4 different ones, and you can edit the name of them, and we'll show you how that works now. We're specifically going to look at an Indian market, the Nifty 50. Okay, before we take a look at the Nifty 50 index from India as an example, using the reset in that market, here is part of the user guide and manual. So when you purchase this indicator, you will get an extensive user guide and manual which goes over how to use the indicator, all the different resets, and different examples of utilizing the indicator for entries. We'll take a quick look at the manual here right after we get through with this. This is just a specific part of the manual which gives you guidance on custom session examples for global markets and how to set that up. Also gives you a tip here on how to verify a custom session before you start using it for trading, so you can verify that it's set up correctly. Okay, now we're just going to take a quick run through the user guide and manual. So this is a user guide and manual that you get when you purchase the indicator. You'll get a welcome letter that has a Google Drive link to this PDF document, which you can just simply download to your computer, and then you can print it out if you want. If you do want to print it out, it is on 8.5 by 14 legal size paper. So if you are going to print it out, just be aware that you need to put legal size paper in. Or you can simply just view it on your monitor if you prefer that. So real quickly here, it just goes over the various aspects of the ribbon, how it's different, the advantages of this ribbon, its flexibility, and then also it goes through the different asset classes here for all the presets that we already went over when we looked at the user inputs in the control panel. And then it also will give you the different modes to run it in, the flexibility of having different modes. Here, standard continuous ribbon while resets off. So you can see that's usually best for crypto because crypto trades continuously 24/7 as an example. Single chart with a specific reset on. Dual confirmation mode, 2 charts, same symbol. Goes over again what is a moving average ribbon, color system, how to read the market, the anchor lines, which are the two thick yellow moving average lines within the ribbon, how the session reset works, visual marker that you get on the first bar of each new session when you do use a session reset, so you clearly know where that is. Also the different settings. Custom defined user filters, as we already went over with examples. Recommended use for day trading intersession with our daily key levels indicators. So if you utilize our daily key levels indicators, then this gives you how to use the ribbon with those indicators for confirming trade entries, for bullish and bearish trade entries on closes above and closes below daily key levels, and how to utilize the indicator to confirm those entries. Also, if you have our previous versions of the indicators, either the V1.0 to 1.2, those versions don't have the contextual levels, so it's also giving you instructions on how to use it in those earlier versions. Also, additional uses, such as using it on pullbacks, how to use it on pullbacks for entries. Also, additional uses, giving you some other uses here, especially for being cautious on any new entries, what the ribbon looks like, and where you should be cautious on any entries. Also, trade management once you're in a bullish or bearish trade. Goes over each. Also, what not to do. Do not try to pick a reversal early when you start to see one or two bands change color. This does not mean a reversal is coming. It could just be a pullback for continuing long. And jumping in too early will lead to a lower win rate. So as an example here, we have an example of that on an all green bullish ribbon, an all red bearish ribbon. And then finally we have disclaimer and risk warning for the rest of the user manual. As with any indicator, it is a good idea to practice with it before using it on a live account. So we always recommend that on any new indicator. It doesn't matter whether you paid for an indicator or using a free indicator on TradingView or some open source indicator. And it doesn't matter if you purchased the indicator from us or from someone else. You should always practice with an indicator first on a demo account to get used to using it on a variety of sessions before trying to use it on a live trading account. Okay, now we're just going to take a look at a global market using one of the custom resets. This is an example. So we've chosen the Nifty 50 for this example. So this is the main index in India. So here you can see the information here. So this is Nifty 50. This is the symbol on TradingView. This is the region to select in the drop-down. Again, here in the user control panel, Mumbai, India, Asia, Kolkata. And then the reset is 9:15 for India time. So again, that's where you put that in here. Now you can, as indicated, you can, instead of having this say custom reset 1 here on a label, the labels are optional. You can choose to show the custom session name label if you want. If that helps you out, you can simply uncheck it and then you would not have the label here. And if you do want to have a label, if you don't change the name, it's just going to say custom reset custom session reset 1. Or you can simply change the wording here to whatever you want. We've just simply chosen to pull out the full name here of the index, where it trades, time zone, and time. But you can put whatever information here you want if you'd like to see it. And this is an example of with the reset filter on. Now we'll take a split screen view of how this index looks on the same sessions, on one side with the filter off and one side with the filter on. Okay, so on the left side here we have the filter on. The right side, we're using the ribbon indicator with the filter off. Same exact sessions. You can see a big difference here, especially in these two sessions here, where we had reversals right off the bat. With the reset filter on, you can clearly see the reversals here. This is the regular ribbon, filter off. As you can see here, you're not really seeing bullishness until you get to here. However, with the filter on, you're seeing it right away. Same thing here with this session, except just in reverse. Gap up. Here's with the filter off. This is with the filter on. As you can clearly see the reversal right away. So this would be the same for any other global market. Doesn't matter if you're trading stocks in other global markets or whatever asset type you're doing in other global markets. You can simply set in the custom sessions the specific region that you're in for the specific symbol type that you're trading and the specific session within that symbol type that you're trading that you would like to do a reset for. And as we talked about, you have up to 4 custom sessions that you can utilize. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for today's video. If you are interested in purchasing our Ribbon V3.0 indicator, simply send us an email at promocode@daytradinggps.com. That's promocode@daytradinggps.com to request a discount promo code. Please put in the subject line Ribbon V3.0 indicator. To purchase the indicator, go to www.wap.com/daytradinggps and you'll see our various indicators there, including the new Ribbon V3.0 indicator. If you are interested in purchasing any of our other daily key levels indicators and you would like a promo code for those, you can simply add in your message that you would also like a promo code for whichever daily key levels indicator that you're interested in. Or if you're interested in purchasing one of our suites, you can simply mention that as well, that you would like a promo code for one of our multiple indicator suites. And we thank you again for taking your time today to watch this video. If you did like it, please hit the like button. If you'd like to be notified when other videos on other trading topics are posted, please hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified when we post new videos on any of our indicators or any trading topic. So thank you again for watching today's video, and we wish you much prosperity in all your future trading. Thank you.